Good morning, everybody. Hello. Happy Friday, February 10th. We're here for my intro psych online class. It is week number 5. I see a bunch of you joining me. Sorry that we're on a different day this week. I had some stuff with my kids on Wednesday, so I had to move it to today. I will definitely try and stick with Wednesdays as usual. But yes, happy Friday. Can't believe it's Friday already. Thank goodness. I'm excited for the weekend and the Super Bowl. I don't know if anyone else is planning on watching the Super Bowl, or do you have a favorite meal you're having on planning on having during the game? I think we're gonna have chicken fajitas and chips and guacamole and salsa. I'm looking forward to that, and of course the game. Mahomes is my second favorite dude, so football guy. So I'm looking forward to rooting for him and eating some good food and watching the game on Sunday. So I don't know if anybody else has football Super Bowl plans. If you do, feel free to share in the chat. Always exciting to live vicariously. But other than that, what we will do today is we'll look at a little bit of feedback from the last 2 weeks. So weeks 3 and 4 have been graded. So we'll talk about those a little bit and exam number 2. And then I'll give you some reminders for this week, along with, of course, the extra credit for this week, and then see if you have any questions for me. I don't really care about the teams, but I look forward to snacks, commercials, and Rihanna. Yeah, fair enough, right? So that's exactly what my wife said. I'm looking forward to snacks, commercials, and food. She didn't say Rihanna, but food. Mahomes is hopefully going to kill it. I hope he's healthy enough to play well. So fingers crossed it's a good game. Looking forward to it, and I agree with you on the snacks. Always game for some snacks. So anyway, let's go ahead and go over to Canvas together, and we can take a look at some of those things. So we are in week number 5. We have passed the halfway point of our class. After this week, we have 6, 7, and 8 going on. We are definitely getting there, but we are in weeks 5 and 6, this 2-week clump of materials at the moment. I just want to talk really briefly about weeks 3 and 4. It kind of feels far ago, like a far ways away at this point because we're at Friday. But just a couple of kind of general comments about weeks 3 and 4, just to continue giving you that feedback. I, of course, sent out an email with some reminders and feedback, but just to give you a little bit here. I really appreciate your honesty with the self-assessment. A lot of you were very open and honest about your progress and how you're doing. I really appreciate that. Some of you saying, I'm doing everything I can. Other people said I could do a little bit more. And again, I appreciate the honesty. Discussions 5 and 6 for week number 3. For discussion number 5, you were looking at dreams and your theories on dreams. I really enjoyed reading these. A lot of kind of fun takes on the dreams that you had, connecting them to the theories. A lot of you thinking the reasons we dream are kind of all over the place. Dream interpretation is something that I find incredibly interesting. So I hope you enjoyed the chance to look at a dream a little bit more. A little bit more. The biggest reason people lost points here was not linking the dreams to the dream theories quite enough. So something I really wanted you to do was explain your dream from those theories and make sure that you describe the theory in order to receive full credit. And some of you didn't do that. That was probably the number one reason people lost points, along with maybe not replying to a classmate. So that was the big thing on discussion number 5. Discussion number 6. If I click on this one really quick, we were looking at learning. This is a hard unit, and a few of you seem to struggle a little bit. Learning and conditioning is probably the hardest topic that we cover in this class. So if you're feeling good about those topics, pat yourself on the back, you're doing great. And if you're a little bit confused, maybe re-watch some of the materials I had for you or reread through the chapter. Those are things that are kind of core concepts, but we've been tested on them already, so I hope you don't forget them, but you don't have to stress about them anymore. But the biggest reason people lost points here was on this last bullet. I asked you to give me an example of classical conditioning in your life, and many of you gave me an example of operant conditioning. If you use the words reward or punishment at all, you're in the realm of operant conditioning. So really important to remember that classical conditioning is more about those associations that we make. Anytime you're talking about rewarding or punishing a behavior, so giving yourself a snack for doing your homework would be an example of a reinforcer. And so that was probably the biggest reason that people lost points on that one. Let's look at discussions number 7 and 8. So for week number 4, discussion 7. For discussion 7, you were looking at memory. Now, if you had taken this class with me in person, you would have to memorize this and kind of regurgitate it on a warm-up in class, but luckily you didn't have to do that. But a lot of you came up with really fun and creative stories for how you would memorize the 28-digit sequence for seconds versus days. I enjoyed your little tips for studying for exams and tips for memory in general. Really nicely done. Biggest reason people lost points was just not quite giving me enough, or giving me the same method for seconds versus days. I really wanted you to give me a different method. But overall, really nicely done. And again, a lot of creative stories for how to remember that. Discussion number 8, the last one for the last 2 weeks. This one was looking at intelligence, and I enjoyed your descriptions of what you think of when you think of intelligence, some of the things that you can do to increase that. And then this was the big one down here, right? Giving me the standardization, reliability, and validity, defining and describing those, maybe even giving me examples. That was the biggest spot that people lost points, just not quite giving me enough, or not replying to a classmate. Remember, with each one of these discussions, always reply to a classmate. Those 2 points are going to add up, and they're easy 2 points to get, so you always want to make sure that you are getting them. The only other thing that we had in the last 2 weeks before we talk about where we are now was this exam number 2. Exam number 2, and I sent this out in the email, the average score was an 89%, so just shy of an A, which is fantastic. That's a really strong average. The highest score was 100%, the lowest score 42%, so a little bit of a range, a little more of a range than the first exam. And the average amount of time taking the test, 62 minutes. So again, what that's telling me is a lot of you were prepared, you were organized, you were ready to go. Some of you finished very quickly, some of you took the full time, but continue to use these as a learning opportunity. If you aren't happy with your score, change things. We still have 2 more exams to go. And so this is a great opportunity for you to maybe examine what you're doing or not doing. Do you need to study more? Do you need to read more? What is it that you could do better? And if you ever want to meet and talk about that a little bit, I'm always happy to do that with you as well. But overall, for the most part, first half of the class is done, and we move on to the second half with week number 5. We're really in the core topics here this week. Motivation and emotion are 2 very central topics to psychology and to intro psych. So for this week, as we talk about week number 5, make sure that you read chapters 9 and 10 in the textbook, or in the ebook. And then, of course, you're going to want to read through the lecture and watch the lecture video. The lecture, as always, just to quickly point it out, 5 tab format. So objectives and summary on the first page, beyond the book here, and I made a little video about the survival instinct as it relates to a couple of shows. If you'd like to watch it, I think it's kind of interesting. In pop culture, lots of movies and TV shows and documentaries related to losing weight, especially, and eating disorders as well. Here are the key terms that you need to know for the exam for chapter 5. Or I'm sorry, chapter 9. We're in week 5, not chapter 5. And then some tips at the end for losing weight and eating disorder help, kind of ways to apply this information to your life. So make sure, as always, that you click on everything in there, explore all the links, watch all the videos. All of that together is going to help you to understand the materials. Make sure you watch my lecture video for chapter 9. Take notes, pay attention. Those things are going to appear on the exam. And then you'll do the same thing for chapter 10, right? Read through the lecture, watch any videos, click on any links with emotions, watch the lecture video for chapter 10. You have 2 discussions this week and then another self-assessment. So let's look at those 3 things together to make sure you're feeling good about them. And if you have any questions at any point, of course, feel free to put those in the chat. I am monitoring on my phone. I got a new case. I'm very excited. It's just wood, but I'm excited anyway. For discussion number 9, the perks of teaching at home, right? You get an angry dog. Hold on, let me close my slider here. My dog is barking at our gardener and very mad. So hold on one sec. Okay, we'll see. She might keep barking. I can't promise that she won't. So for discussion number 9, what I want you to focus on, as always, make sure you watch my little brief introduction video that I have right here with the instructions. Make sure that you read through all of my questions, right, and make sure you understand them and you're ready to go. So the topic for this week, one of them is motivation, with a heavy focus on the specific motive of hunger. As we discussed in the lecture, 2/3 of Americans report wanting to lose weight at any given point. I myself right now am on a diet as well. So is my partner. We're trying to lower our cholesterol and increase our heart health, right? Not the easiest thing to do. I love to eat, so this isn't simple for me, especially with all the Girl Scout cookies that are out right now. They are torturing me at every turn. All of our like kids, they have friends who are selling them and like we have to support them. Duh, stay away from me with the cookies. But anyway, the point of this one is we're thinking about fad diets. So I want you to select a fad diet of your choice that you have maybe read about, heard about, tried, someone you know has tried it, and then you're going to give me some information. What are the main components of your fad diet? What is it? How does it work? What are you required to do or not do? Eat, not eat? What is the timeline for results? What can you expect? What are the main advantages and disadvantages of your selected diet? In other words, what are the rewards and dangers? And then what role do you think the media, movies, TV, magazine, music videos, contribute in negative self-views that often accompany a desire to lose weight and or eating disorders like anorexia and bulimia? So these are the questions I want you to answer. Again, always think about these as like mini papers. Elaborate. If you're not getting full points on these, give me more. And that will get you there, hopefully. You can hit reply when you're ready. Also, don't forget to reply to a classmate. So let's say I really like Carlos's keto diet that he talked about. I could reply to that. And then that will be your discussion number 9. It's worth 15 points as always, 13 for your responses to my questions, and then 2 for your responses to a classmate. Someone said Girl Scout cookies are so dangerous. Yes, they are, Susie, so dangerous. I have so many of them in our house, and yet I cannot say no to them. It's like the second you open a box, you just have to eat the whole box. At least that's my problem with Girl Scout cookies. I'm not able to eat just one. I end up eating like a whole sleeve of Thin Mints instead of just one. That's my Girl Scout cookie problem. And then discussion number, down here, discussion number 10. Let's take a look at that one. Same thing, watch my little video, make sure that you answer all my questions, that you're detailed in your responses. This one is about emotions, which is the other topic for this week. Oh, and yes, they're so good. After you put them in the freezer, 1 box equals 1 serving. Don't enable me. I will do it. I love the way you think. So for chapter 10, we're looking at emotions. You're going to be looking at the 3 different theories that I talked about. The James Lange theory, Cannon-Bard theory, and Schachter-Singer theory, or two-factor theory. What you're going to do is you're going to think of an emotional reaction that you had to something recently. You can create this. It can be totally made up or it can be real. It's completely up to you. But then what you're going to do is describe the event, and you're going to describe how you reacted from each of the 3 different theories. So from the James Lange theory, what were the different chain of events that led up to your emotion? From the Cannon-Bard theory, the events that led up to your emotion. And then the Schachter-Singer two-factor theory, what led up to your emotion. So you're doing it from all 3 of them, and I'm looking to see that you understand the order of events that happen and how you can identify them together. Then what I want you to look at is what are some ways to spot a lie. You can reference the lecture materials or your own personal experiences and tips, but make sure you're specific. I am a horrible liar, as I told you in the lecture. I smile and laugh when I lie. It's awful. So I made a little video for fun, and this is a few years old. I should redo it and see if I've gotten better or worse. But what I want you to do is, if you're interested, just for fun, you can watch my little 2 truths and a lie video. This is a game I'm not very good at because I'm not a good liar. But see if you can guess which one the lie is, and I will definitely let you know after these 2 weeks are up. It's just for fun. It doesn't count toward your grade, but a lot of people like to guess, and I rehearsed, so I think I did better. I smiled through all of it, so maybe that makes it harder. But when you're ready, you'll reply to this, and then again, don't forget to reply to a classmate. Okay, so those are the biggest graded things for this week, for week number 5. Oops, sorry, it keeps spitting me out in the wrong spot. Make sure that you do discussion 9 and discussion 10. You also have a brief self-assessment. This is just like the last one, slightly different questions because we're halfway through the class. But it is worth 5 points. Please be honest. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Take the survey is what you will click. It's 5 questions. It should just take a few minutes. What is one thing you're doing really well in this course? I'm currently earning the grade I want, true or false. If you responded false, what's one thing you can do to improve? If you responded true, how will you maintain? And then in your last self-assessment, you reflected on your exam number one score and how you can make changes to be even more successful. Were you successful? And then which topic, if any, are you finding the most difficult to understand? So it's just my way, again, of checking in with you, making sure that you understand the materials, that you are doing, what you think you should be doing, or kind of reflecting on your progress. Again, we're 5 points, so please do take this. You don't want to miss out on those easy 5 points. Other than that, I will give you the extra credit question here in just a moment, and then I'll see if you have any questions for me. But are there any questions for the moment? I do have a couple of reminders for you while I'm waiting to see if you have any questions. I'll put the first one here in the chat, which is about our next live stream, right? So if we're looking at next week, our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, February 15th at 11:30 a.m. like usual. All right, so it will be back on Wednesday, 11:30 on the 15th like usual. So I'm going to put that here in the chat. I'd also like to remind you, so we are in week 5. And what that means is a lot of you who took the time to subscribe have fallen off. The free subscription with Twitch and Amazon is only good for 30 days. And what I noticed is instead of the 30 something of you that were subscribed, we're now down to about 20, 15. A lot of you are going to fall off if you haven't already. So take a quick moment. If you look at your name in the chat and you only have the little crown next to your name, or you no longer have anything next to your name, that means you're not subscribed anymore. And so I'm no longer able to track your attendance and get all of those benefits that we've talked about. I would really appreciate it if you could go resubscribe. If you do it now, it should be good through the rest of the class and you won't have to worry about it again. But a lot of you fell off. And again, it saves me a lot of time. And if you're watching this later, the only way that you can get credit for watching this is that I can record your attendance because you were subscribed. So if you could go take care of that, I would appreciate it. I will show you really quickly. So if I go to my Twitch channel, or a Twitch channel here, so let me again show you really quickly. Resubscribing is actually quite simple. You did the hard part already in linking everything together. So if you're on a page, let me go to a fantasy football page that I follow so I can show you. As always, right, you would pretend this is my page. This is a football guy that I watch. Only one more week of football, right? So sad. But underneath the little banner on my Psyched with Setmire page, there's this purple bar. Right, see how it says purple and it says subscribe? Let me pull this over here so you can see it a little bit better, hopefully. See how it says subscribe right here? So if you click on that, what it's going to do is bring up this box. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you click on use Prime sub and subscribe for free with Prime, right? And that's going to allow you to resubscribe for 30 more days. If it says subscription not available, then you haven't expired yet. But please just double check that really quickly. Again, I'm sorry to harp on it. I hate to actually bring it up, but it saves me so much time that I really do want to ask you to do that if you have the opportunity. The other thing to remind you of is that we do have the extra credit question. Let me copy and paste that into the chat for you here. So one of the topics that we have for this week is on motivation. So this is the week number 5 Twitch extra credit question. And I'm putting it in the chat box for you at the moment. Let me just put this back. Okay. So the question is, what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Explain and give an example of each. So what is intrinsic motivation? What is extrinsic motivation? And give me an example. You can define, you can describe, but make sure you give me an example of each one. And when you're ready to answer that, you'll go back to Canvas. You'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 5, since we're in week 5. Up here at the top, you'll click on start assignment. And then it'll open up this little text box where you can type your response right here. And then go ahead at the bottom and hit submit. And it'll give you that little confetti burst, which is always rewarding. Nothing else in the confetti today, just confetti. And I grade these throughout the week. This isn't due till next Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Everything from this 2-week section is due by February 19th at 11:59 p.m. But if you do this early and you get it wrong, I'll let you know and you can resubmit it. But these 2 points are definitely going to add up. They're going to help make up for maybe a lower score on the exam or a missed discussion. Like those points are going to help you. And again, if you're watching this later, you can still get these points even though you couldn't join me live, if you can subscribe. And please do that for free. Don't pay for it. I think that is everything that I would like to share with you. Someone asked, so do I need to be signed up to Amazon Prime in order to subscribe to your Twitch for free? Yes. Or what you can do, if you go to announcements, I sent out an announcement way back before the class started. There's a free Amazon Prime for students, or if anyone in your family has Amazon Prime, obviously you can use that. But you can sign up for a free 6-month account, and that also includes one free subscription. And I have all of the instructions on here under modules for how to do all of that if you're interested. If you scroll down, it's right here. Subscribing to my Twitch and YouTube channels, if you need the instructions on how to link everything together. It takes a minute, but once you have it linked, then you're all set and you can just renew from there. Okay. I think that is everything. What I will do is I'll hang out for a little bit if any of you have any questions. Otherwise, go Mahomes, go Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I hope it's a good game. Everything is about the Kelsey mom, Donna Kelsey, and her sons that are playing against each other, and two black quarterbacks for the first time. It should be a great game. I'm hoping it'll be a good game. If you have your own account, yep, then it should still work just fine. So what you can do is, again, go follow the instructions on here, right? If you click on subscribing to my Twitch and YouTube channels right here, this page, it'll show you step by step how to do that. So what I did is I gave you a step by step flow of instructions. And then at the bottom, there's a little video if you would rather. That might make your life easier. Okay. Thank you as well. I appreciate you being on here with me. I know it was a different day and time, so a couple of people joining for the first time because they could make it this time, which is fantastic. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Have a great weekend. It's going to cool off again. It felt like spring today. It's all warm. But yes, enjoy the snacks and Rihanna and the commercials for the Super Bowl. And I will see you all on Wednesday next week. So I'm going to hang out for a little bit, but I'm going to minimize my video just so that I'm not staring at myself. But I'm still here. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. You too. Have a wonderful weekend. You too. Have a great weekend.